What was a fact that you regret knowing? The existence of dust mites. I have long since accepted that I am an ecosystem. My dad and I both took DNA tests for fun and I found out we aren't related. 0% match. For those asking what happened next, from Ops comment history, I found out when I was 45. Long story long, I took a test for fun. My mom had taken one years ago, so I knew what her general contribution would be. I got my results, which were heavy on the indigenous American and Spain. Not in my mom's DNA. I told my folks, married as long as I've been alive, and my dad wanted to test. He's older, not tech savvy, so I handled it for him. He came back a 0% match to me. I never told either of them about the non-match, I just kind of let it go, hoping they'd forget about the test. It's a total mind F when you had zero inkling there was any funny business. I hope you have better luck with the biological father's family than I did. I was flat out rejected, disappointed face, heart, I do have a Mexican great-grandfather. I have found a lot of that part of the family and now keep in touch with several first and second cousins. I had posted on an Ancestry DNA sub regarding my NPE, non-parental event, aka figured out the man who raised me is not my biological father. A college student took my case on for free and helped me over the course of a couple years to narrow it down to one of two brothers, but they are not cooperative at all. Disappointed face. Life hacks for when you don't want to tell your child directly they're adopted. There was a woman in the 18th century called Mary Toft who stuffed dead rabbits into her vagina and later acted as if she gave birth to them. The doctors believed her till one of them examined found corn in one of the rabbits' stomachs. It couldn't have been in there. She also did the same with a hog's bladder and a cat's legs. Also with about 15 rabbits. Don't know why I even know this edit. Who the F found this helpful? Please don't put rabbits in your vagina, or any other hole. The corn in the rabbit's stomach is what tipped them off? Bob Ross actually hated his afro. When he started out, it was the cheapest hairstyle to maintain, and once he picked up some traction, it was too iconic to get rid of. This is the saddest thing I've read. I'm not going to share it with anyone. Now this is the burden I carry. About to get sadder, towards the end of his shows he wore a wig due to balding from chemo. Broke my heart when I read that. F man. The magnitude of how dirty hotel rooms are. The worst part of this for me is that I worked in housekeeping at a hotel one summer when I was in high school. Maybe that particular hotel was just really good at keeping the place clean and was an exception, but I do have to wonder how much crap I just never noticed because I was a dumb teenager. I watched someone jump off the Stone Arch Bridge in Minneapolis and saw them pee their pants right before they jumped. Chainsaws were originally meant to be a surgeon's instrument. To aid in childbirth. No joke, Google it. This is going to give me nightmares until menopause. Wait until you hear about the bandsaw that got used once menopause was over. Actor Daniel von Bargen, Super Troopers, Seinfeld, attempted suicide by shooting himself in the temple with a .38 revolver. He was diabetic and didn't want to go to the hospital for another amputation. Unfortunately, he survived and was severely wounded. He also was permanently blinded from the gunshot. There's a transcript of the police call that left me shook. He passed away 3 years later from a battle with diabetes. I remember reading this is why some people duct tape the gun to their hand if they attempt suicide in case the first shot doesn't complete the job. Edit, for those asking why the duct tape. I believe the idea is that you can damage the part of your brain that affects your vision but not die from it. Then you are possibly disabled, blind, and in pain but unable to finish what you started if you dropped or lost the gun. Not much fun to think about. Had a family friend that failed to kill himself that way also, managed to blow his jaw off. If things were bad before. My friend's brother did this, it went through the bottom of his jaw and out of his mouth, it blew his teeth out and after surgeries he's fine. The family pretends it didn't happen. Edit, I meant he's physically fine recovery-wise, not mentally fine. Edit 2, this is my friend's family, not mine. The Challenger space shuttle astronauts were most likely alive and awake on the way down. NASA's lead investigator, Robert Overmyer, concluded most if not all of the crew were alive and possibly conscious during the entire descent until impact with the ocean. After the investigation, Overmyer stated, "I not only flew with Commander Dick Scobie, we owned a plane together, and I know Scobie did everything he could to save his crew. Scobie fought for any and every edge to survive. He flew that ship without wings all the way down. That you have to clean lumps out from underneath a horse's foreskin from time to time." No. No, I don't. Yes, you do. Go do it now. They're called beans. They're an accumulation of smegma that gets trapped right in front/above of the urethra opening. They can cause mild discomfort or extreme pain and urinary problems if not cleaned out. My horses get them removed during their annual teeth float or some other veterinary act that uses sedation. Some horses have to have them removed more often. Edit, my most upvoted and awarded comment. It's about horse smegma. Awesome. Thanks, I no longer like beans. An octopus penis is actually one of their tentacles. So if you would go and pet an octopus at SeaWorld or some other place, you could be groping their penis. This happened in Dragon Ball Super. Goku really shook an alien's dick, person facepalming, dark skin, male sign. So wait, they have 7 legs and a dick or 8 legs and a dick? Do female octopuses have fewer tentacles than males, or do they have more legs but the same number of tentacles? The youngest recorded person to give birth was 5 years old. Edit, for those asking, here's the web link. I just was reading about that again yesterday. It is so sad, I can't even fathom. Her mom said the daughter started getting periods at age 3. The dad was arrested under suspicion that he was the rapist, but they couldn't prove it, so they let him go and never found out who it was. Her son grew up thinking they were brother and sister, but he was told at age 10 that his sister was actually his mom. So wild. At age 10. When his biological mom was 15. I can't imagine. Jesus, she had her first period at 8 months of age, and the doctors who helped her give birth confirmed she had fully matured genitals. WTF. Edit, I guess this is helpful. Even so, why is no one wondering what sick F got her pregnant? That poor girl. According to the link, she refused to ever tell who the father was, and may not even know, apparently, and her own father was investigated but never charged. Sadly, it's statistically most likely to have been someone related to her or a close family friend. That poor little girl, though. F. That my father died believing that I was not his child. When my mother told me, it broke my heart and has forever changed my relationship with my family. Edit. Thanks for your interest in my story. It's helped to put answers to some of your questions, and to read some of your stories. Why did he believe that though? And because of the wording, I assume he was wrong? Tapeworm faces are absolutely terrifying. Googled it and found pics of tapeworms in people's faces. That was worse. JFC. Jesus Christ. Why'd you make me Google that? So I wouldn't be the only one with that awful knowledge. Lol. Thank you for tipping me off to the fact that I don't want to search it up. My parents are swingers, and now well into their 70s. So you know that old folks' homes have the highest percentage of STDs, as they won't have to worry about getting pregnant. My great-aunt started going senile and was put in a nursing home for the last few years of her life. My family kept getting calls from the management complaining she was visiting all the other residents, and didn't like us saying good on her. I'm an RN in long-term care. I had a patient that was the hoe of the home. After watching her game, I decided I wanted to be just like her when I grow up. My ex was an RN in a retirement home too. She said that after the first of the month, when all the prescriptions were refilled, they would find old people epping around every corner and behind every door. The staff of that retirement home affectionately referred to the first week of every month as the zombie epilepsy. Is that a Viagra or pain pill thing? She said Viagra in a retirement home sold faster than crack on the Skid Row. The underpaid staff smuggled as much Viagra as they could and sold it in a day. I've heard stories of 80-plus-year-olds who would be in a wheelchair the whole time but would miraculously raise upon their own two legs if they had a chance to get at some juicy 60-year young punani. From my first job at KFC, you can't really tell the chicken is spoiled once you put it in the fryer. A friend that used to work at KFC said that they were told not to throw away the spoiled chicken. They would just boil it before frying, so yeah. No more KFC for me. If you live in a high-traffic area, it's almost a promise that the food is as fresh as possible. I imagine things like this usually only happen in very slow towns where stock is never sold out by the next truck shipment. Just helping you out. If you stopped eating at every place that had some sort of isolated horror story, you'll have nowhere to eat. Because your body uses vitamin C to make collagen, which holds your skin together and makes scar tissue, when you get scurvy your old wounds reopen. So every old wound, or is there like a limit on how far back? No. If you have a wound that has recently healed, it may have some issues. The time frame for scar to heal and reach maximum strength is 6 to 8 weeks. Most scars will only ever achieve 80% of the pre-injury strength of the tissue. If you were to give someone a wound, and have them stop all vitamin C intake, i.e. get on a boat and eat porridge the way sailors who would get scurvy used to, you may see them heal the wound only for it to break open again after a couple of weeks. It may also help if someone hit the scar or tried to injure them again at that location, so the scar wouldn't actually reach the 80% maximum strength. It wouldn't be as dramatic, like a Hollywood-esque alien wound explosion, that you may be imagining. The scurvy part doesn't gross me out as much as the phrase holds your skin together. Men don't like skinny scars. Real scars have S-curves. The way rabies kills, once you have symptoms, you're already dead. This is why when I was scratched by a bat earlier this year I made sure to get the treatment ASAP. Not effing around with that. One time my university sent out a whole campus alert that someone saw a girl get attacked by a bat and they wanted to make sure she got help. I absolutely love bats, but the thought of getting attacked by one is frightening. Bat bites man, sucks man bites bat. The strange pistachio you get every few nuts, the one that tastes a bit funny is because a bug died inside of it. Sorry. Just think about eating its cute furry head next time. Web link. I just ate half a bag last night, and I had several weird ones. Fuck. Such a weird flavor. Absolute chaos followed by a raisin aftertaste. Proud of my body for processing it. Protein is protein. I was absent-mindedly eating pistachios while driving and got one that was still closed. It happens, cracked into it anyway. It felt like I had hair in my mouth and the nut was squishy and tasted rancid. Spit the damn thing out and found a half-empty cocoon. Almost crashed, pulling over to vomit. Thanks, I hate this. That anesthesia doesn't always works. My colleague donated one of his kidneys to his brother and he experienced the entire operation without being able to move or scream. Pain and all. Took many months of therapy moving on from this. My wife's epidural worked on only one side when we had our first child. She said it was the worst tease and worst distraction of her life. This happened with both my sister and I's second kids. She stood her ground and got more drugs. They tried to convince me I was just feeling the pressure of the contractions, which I was confusing with pain. My second came too quickly after that for me to fix anything. My epidural also failed on one side with my first, but after she came, I quickly realized I could feel the doctor stitching me up on one side, but I was so exhausted I just told her to keep going and be quick about it. Oh dang, you're a beast. My epidural stopped at my belly button, which was fine for contractions, but closing me up post-emergency C-section felt like being torn apart by wolves. Lots of tugging involved of ab muscles higher than the belly button. Did the anesthesiologist F something up, or can this happen to anyone even if the doctors did everything perfectly? In 4 yes. Can't remember the name for it, but the doctors told him that this happens in approximately 100,000,000. Do not think the staff was to blame. Did they use the same drugs to remove tonsils? I remember waking up around the beginning of the operation and feeling them poke around the back of my throat and talk about what they were seeing. Yeah, I remember when getting my tonsils out, I heard the whole conversation about the oral surgeon's wedding plans. I wasn't in pain though. Well, thanks for the new nightmare fuel, cheers. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube. And share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.